In this movie, you're gonna learn everything about this shot and capture your own style. This is a place where I have my hotpot and there are some very beautiful lights in the interior shot. There the waitress was telling the others that there are 3 guys that want to enjoy the hotpot and they're trying to find us a very best seat in this area. And here I'll give you a close up on the desktop. It's red and it's very beautiful. This is the oil and some cups, chopsticks and the bowls on the desktop. They are very well designed, and here are some ingredients for us to enjoy the hot pot. One thing I have to make sure that is they are really delicious. Hey, how do you like the hot spot on my previous video? It's very spicy, but I can't tell you it's super delicious. I liked it very much. In this video, what I want to share with you is that these One-Shot 360 cameras are not toys. They can be creative tools in our life, and they can be the creative tools in the hand of the magicians. And on my YouTube channel, you can learn a lot about One-Shot 360 magic and master One-Shot 360 camera like never before. My name is Yuqing Guo. Welcome to my YouTube channel. We know that the Kandao QooCam AK previously has 2 major updates. One of them is Super HDR. The other one is in-camera RAW Plus. But for me, personally speaking, I like the DNG8, the conventional DNG8 mode, a lot because shooting with DNG8 is a lot faster than the Express DNG8 or the Super HDR. The camera could simply capture and save 8 shot in very quick succession. It's really fast. So considering the DNG8 is super fast at shoot and post process, it's very good for us to take some lifestyle shooting or with some documentary 360 photos. It's fast, it's very responsive, it is very flexible. In this photo, I have captured with 2 sets of DNG8 with different exposure values. One of them was to capture the people, the food, the hot pot, and the interior environment. The other one is to capture the exterior shot. In theory, I can take 1 shot of DNG8 exposure to the highlight and try to bring back all detail in the dark, but that is only in theory. If you want to get the best possible imaging quality, you'd better take 2 sets of DNG8. And in this video, you can learn a lot about this magic. Here I will show you my setup. You can see my QooCam AK was hovering on the top of the hot pot, and I put the selfie stick in between my legs and to make sure that the camera has the best point of view and also has the best orientation. Here you can see this 2 16-bit high quality DNG file was generated with in-camera RAW Plus. And now I have a color correct in Adobe Camera Raw, and you can see there are some settings for my preferences for this shot. And I will zoom in so you can see every one of the value in my post process and in my color correction. And you can see I have captured 2 sets of DNG8. This one was captured with underexposed. Even with shoot with highlight, we can still bring back all the detail in the dark. So we could actually capture this shot with 1 set of DNG8, but pushing back the detail in the dark will probably lower the imaging quality a little bit. So that is the reason why I choose to blend 2 sets of DNG8. And for this one, for this underexposed shot, I will focus on the exterior shot. So you can see I'm color correction, focusing only on the exterior. I don't care about the interior, but I want the best possible exterior. For those of you, if you want to have a simplified workflow, you can expose to the highlight and bring the detail in the dark and export in post. That is good, but that is not the best choice. And now I have opened the Windows version QooCam Studio 2.2. There are many great features added in the 2.2 version. First is the grid lines. The grid line could help you align and correct the horizontal line in your panorama, and just drag and drop your tip file to Studio, and you can see that the gravitational correction is off by default. So that will help you capture stunning time-lapse videos, and that will also help us if you want to blend all the shots in post. So by turn off the gravitational, and then I will add some manually set the numbers, the yaw, the pitch and roll, adjust the different angles so that I can level the panorama exactly the same in between the two panoramas. So I'm not only just a drag and drop, but I will control the three angles with more precision. Here you can see I have moving with my mouse, as I can put it horizontally and turn on the grid line, so you can see the beautifully arranged grid lines overlay. And after that, I will try to remember the yaw, the pitch and roll of this shot, and duplicate exactly the same numbers to the other one of the 360 shot with the underexposed. Right? You can see that I have typed in I've round up, right? Because I cannot remember such long numbers. So I round them up and I duplicate exactly the same number to the another shot, because this one was focused on the exterior shot. Yes, so you can see we go back and forth. When I was taking that shot, in fact, I put the selfie stick in between my legs, so the camera is a little bit shaky. So there are minor differences between the two shots, but the differences is very small, and with a manually corrected horizontal line, it's very easy to correct in post. And after that, I will render out all the files with on-stitch panel, because with the orientation in this shot, I might come across with some stitching issues, especially for the geometric vertical lines. So I'm not sure if I can get the perfect stitch result directly from Studio. So I will batch stitch the two files as well as turn on the on-stitch panel. And after that, I will get altogether 6 JPEG files in the KD output folder, as you can find in my Adobe Bridge. You can see now I am going to the new folder, and you can see the 6 JPEG shot straight out from the camera. 2 of them was stitched equirectangular panorama, and the other one was unstitched panel from the different lenses. And here I use the stitched panel with 2 different exposure values. And next up, I'm gonna try to blend the 2 exposures in Photoshop. Here I will speed up the process a little bit. The basic ideas of blending the 2 different exposures is to select with the moving ends and make the selections of the overexposed areas. You can see my operations in Photoshop. I'm fine-tuning the selection until I'm satisfied with this selection, and add a little bit of feather for more natural gradient. And I will use that selection, but set a layer mask for the underexposed one and brush on the layer mask so that I can bring back all the details in another shot with better exterior details. And you can see there are some minor misalignment because I was shaky, and the 2 different DNG shots was not captured at the same time. So there are some minor differences. And to get rid of that, after all the layer mask tricks, I'm gonna move the panorama a little bit to the left, right, to the up and down, and to try to manually align this shot. And for some details, we can see there are some very precise operation on the layer mask that will help you get the best possible result. And after that, you can see I am trying to change the size of my brush on the go with hotkey, with shortcut, right? Here you can see I'm slowly getting better and better, and now this image will look awesome. And zoom in, you can see, yeah, you can see some little bit misalignment. So yeah, I will add a little bit more detail to the overexposed highlight. And next up, you can see on the ceiling light, I'm also trying to blend a little bit from the underexposed one for more details. And next up, you can see I'm trying to bring back a little bit of the trying to correct the stitching errors, because you can see on the far side the buildings, the skyline was corrupted with the stitching errors, and I will get rid of that with the unstitched panel from the single lens. And with a simple layer mask magic, I can just mask out the arrow in the stitching area and bring back the perfect part in my shot. And be careful with every detail in the post process, because the precision equals to the quality. And after that, you can see I will color correct the exterior shot with the curve, and try to blend and try to make it offset to make this image a very good starting point. And zoom in on my legs, you can see the selfie stick in between my legs, and I can easily get rid of that with content aware fill tools. And if you zoom in, that you can see my right arm was cut into 2 pieces because it's just too close to the camera. So next up, I will show you how can I overcome this cut off arm in Photoshop. To get rid of that, I will not use the 3D workspace. I will simply bring back the other half of my arm in a single lens shot with the unstitched panel output, and I will try to bring back every one of the stitching errors. For the last part, I will focus on my arm, and you can see I have made slowly make a selection on my arm and try to match them with the warping tools. You can see that I was using the screw, the distort, and even the warp tools to match the size, the colors, and also I will match the featherness. And after a few warping operations, now you can see I have finally connect my arms. That will be very natural and that will be very realistic. So that is how I get rid of that stitching errors with so close, and trying to match the exposures, the colors. And after all this that, I will use the liquify tools. Sometimes there are some optical flow stitching errors, and I can get rid of that with liquify tools in Photoshop. Okay, to wrap up, in this video, I have shared with you the magic of combination with 2 sets of DNG8. And with in-camera RAW Plus, when we go back to the desktop, we can go straight to the high quality files and with a lot of potential in the post process. And you can see that with the latest QooCam Studio 2.2, the gravitational compensation is off by default. So you can correct all the panorama with grid lines and set to them to align them in post and output with equirectangular panorama with unstitched panel feature. And you can blend all these files together, the blend with some simple selection mask in Photoshop. And finally, we compress all the best part of different shot, an unstitched panel, the panorama, we compress them all together. And finally, we squeeze the very best part of every one of the shot, and finally we can get that stunning photo. And by doing that, you will have a high quality documentary shot of your own life. And after a few years, you go back to the moment you have on the Hotpot. You're gonna be very exciting, because that moment is the part of your life. That moment is a ripple in your life, and that moment was captured with the best possible quality at that moment. And that is the key idea for this video. In the future, I'm gonna share with you more about my thoughts, my post-process, my shooting, my tricks, my magic, and everything else about One Shot 360 photography. So until next time, bye.
You're not full